About to see the fall of Diddy. And I'm not lying to you because more and more people are starting to come out to expose his terrible behavior. It has been a very long week for Diddy because his bad behavior is finally being exposed for the world to see, and it's crazy if you thought that him putting hands on Cassie was horrible. Well, it's about to get way worse because his ex-girlfriend and baby mama Misa Hylton is now coming out to reveal that Diddy treated her the exact same way that he did Cassie. Even more, Misa is now coming out with a lawsuit of her own that promises to be more explosive than Cassie's because she is about to spill the tea about how Diddy not only hurt her when they were together, but he also put hands on their child as well. Misa is not here to play, and it looks like Diddy is finally about to go down.
Man, Puff beat up till she got up under the beat her literally till she tried to run up under the car. Wow. He was reckless with his hands, you know that, man.
No, in case y'all missed the teat, his recent lawsuit against Diddy was the very first time that Diddy has been exposed on a large scale like this. I mean, sure, there have been talks and rumors about how Diddy is a bad guy who takes out his ops and all that stuff, but that has only been rumors since. There has never been a lawsuit or even someone coming out to make the allegations boldly. Well, Cassie changed all of that with her explosive lawsuit that she dropped last week. She became the first person to boldly step out and expose Diddy. And listen, she did Diddy hard with this lawsuit. She went into detail about how badly Diddy used to treat her when they were together. She revealed some horrifying things like the part where she said that he's a misadventure in her own home after she tried to leave him. Often punched, beat, kicked, and stomped on Miss Venture, resulting in bruises, burst lips, black eyes, and bleeding, forced Miss Venture to engage in intimate acts with Mel SSWS while getting off on it and film. In the encounters, demanded that Miss Venture to carry his firearm in her purse just to make her uncomfortable and demonstrate how dangerous he is, and introduced Miss Venture to a lifestyle of excessive alcohol and substance abuse, required her to procure illicit prescriptions to satisfy his own addictions. But that's not all, because she then went in to reveal that he also used to put hands on her a lot and listed all the different occasions, like the time they were on their way home from attending a Jay-Z party. Mr. Combs beat Miss Venture repeatedly in an Escalade, including by kicking and hitting her. He forced her out of the vehicle on 5th Avenue in New York City. She was eventually able to hail a cab to get into her apartment in Manhattan. There's also the time when Cassie spoke to a music manager in a club without Diddy's permission, and he was furious. The conversation was nothing serious, just a casual conversation in the club. But Diddy got so mad that when they left the club, Mr. Combs beat at Miss Venture, pushing her into a corner of the vehicle and stomping on her face. When the car arrived at Mr. Coles's residence, Miss Ventura attempted to run away, but Mr. Combs followed her and proceeded again to kick her in the face. Miss Venture was profusely and was ushered into Mr. Coles's home, where she began to throw up from the incident. She revealed that he often left her with bruises and cuts all over her body, but he wasn't exactly apologetic for his behavior, and it seemed like he was always terrified that someone would figure out what he was doing to her, so he usually forbade her from going outside after he put hands on her. Instead, he would have her stay at a fancy hotel where she wouldn't be seen by anyone, but even by the hotel workers. This explains why he managed to go on for years without anyone figuring out what he was doing to her. But it gets way worse because his beatings and the frequent drugs that he forced on her soon started to take her toll on her body, which isn't surprising. She revealed in the lawsuit that she started to experience memory loss and had to have an MRI, and Diddy was so paranoid that the results would reveal that the memory loss was caused by something he did to her, so he had the hospital send her test results directly to his email, which should have certainly raised a few red flags. There was also the part where Cassie revealed that he used to force her to sleep with male escorts because he got off on it. He would force her to go on to escort websites and hire black men with BBCs, and then force her to partake in what he called freak-offs that were so extreme and lasted for days. Even though she never wanted to do them, the laws claimed that Cassie didn't want to partake in the foes, but Diddy would give her so much drugs until her resistance basically vanished. Mr. Combs always supplied Miss Venture with copious amounts of drugs before and during the foes. His Venture was given ecstasy, cocaine, GHB, ketamine, marijuana, and alcohol in excessive amounts during foes, which allowed her to disassociate during these horrific encounters. It became commonplace to get IV fluids in the days after Enfo to recover from the excessive substances pushed upon her. There were lots more shocking things that were spilled in the lawsuit, and of course did. His lawyers denied the allegations. They said he vehemently denies these offensive and outrageous allegations. Miss Venters demand a $30 million under the threat of writing a damaging book about the relation. On-ship was unequivocally rejected as blatant blackmail despite withdrawing her initial threat. Miss Venture has now resorted to filing a lawsuit riddled with baseless and outrageous lies, aiming to tarnish Mr. Combs' reputation, and seeking a payday, but he eventually chose to settle in just a day, and that alone made him look guilty as if he had Cassie signing ironclad NDA so she could no longer speak on the issue, but we didn't sign an NDA so we can talk about it as much as we like when it turns out. His other side pieces didn't end either, and his ex-girlfriend Misa Hylton is now also speaking up and revealing that Diddy put her through the same things that he put Cassie through. No, I'm not going to lie. I'm not really even that surprised that Cassie isn't the only woman that Diddy treated like that, because him being that cruel could only mean that he had done it over and over again. His side piece Gina, who even revealed a couple of years ago that Diddy used to put hands on her too.
In the beginning,
Before we get into Misa's story and her lawsuit, let me remind you that Misa has also called Diddy out for not only being horrible to her, but also mistreating their son Justin just because he and Misa have their issues. Back in June, Misa slammed him on Instagram, right? I'm not with none of that. Reality TV is when is enough enough. I'm not protecting no one anymore. Just my son and all the children I love. A come to Jesus moment. The statement "a fish rots from the head down" means that in addition to being a major contribution factor in a family organization's success, leadership is the root cause of its failure and demise. The truth shall set you free. She continued, act bad, bad boy. I used to want to be a bad girl, but I chose to be a queen. Tried and true. I'm not perfect, but I am intentional. I should have kept my child with me, so this is kind of cryptic, but it was kind of sounding like Diddy was either putting hands on their son like he used to do to her, or he was using their son against her. Either right away, it was something really, really messed up because Misa is not really the type to chase cloud or start drama over anything. She also said everyone has to sit around for years and act like there isn't anything wrong with you.